Hey YouTube, what is going on? Thanks for checking out the Straight SRT8 YouTube channel. Today it's all about spring cleaning. We're going to go ahead and we're going to detail my car together, showing you how I do it as an amateur-ish detailer. You guys may or may not know I had a detailing business up in New York. I was pretty selective in the cars I did. It wasn't meant to be some like mass detailing company. It was just supposed to be more niche. Anyway. Did a lot of detailing, learned a lot about products, learned which products worked well together, which ones don't, which ones in combination create a higher gloss, which ones create more of a haze, figuring out which sprays are best to be aggressive but not too aggressive, good tar removers. Anyway, point being that I learned quite a bit, and I'm going to start sharing some of that knowledge with you guys now. So my car right now, full disclosure, hasn't been washed probably 4, 5, maybe 6 months, probably 5 months. It's dirty. Yeah, it's dirty. Especially the front wheels, that brake dust, man. Anyway, we're gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna clean the entire vehicle. So full transparency. It's kind of weird doing videos outside with my neighbors so close to me. When I'm like talking to you guys, yelling at a camera. They can't really see the camera because it's so small, and it looks like I'm just talking to myself and like psychotic, and it's not a good look. So what I'm gonna do, talk to you right now, get in the garage, show you guys the products I'm gonna use, and then I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna plant you guys outside. I'm just gonna work on the car. So I figured out which products are good, especially for a car that's very dirty. And then depending on how dirty your car is, you want to use different products. This is gonna be, worst case scenario, or worst-ish case scenario my car's ever going to see for being this dirty, for going 6 months without being cleaned. So we're going to go through, pressure wash the vehicle, do a nice rinse, apply more of a strong remover. So if there's any tar in the vehicle, any stuck on debris, bug guts, whatever, it's a pretty powerful solution I'm going to use. And that's going to spray in the car, let it sit. It'll be an iron remover, and that's going to remove quite a bit of everything, including my protection. So I did a pretty thorough job doing silicone dioxide coating on the car. This is going to eat through it, which is perfectly fine. So we're starting truly from scratch. Clean the car, get a nice clean done. Probably only going to clean it today. Sun's already going down. I had to wait a while to make sure that the sun was down on my driveway, to make sure the car was in the shade, was nice and cool, to actually get a proper clean on it. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then get into a really nice compound that creates a lot of shine in the vehicle. That goes right on your clear coat, so on your base coat, and then over that put on another protectant to help lock that in, to make sure it gets repelling water. That's hydrophobic properties. It works very well with silicone dioxide, so it creates a really nice bond. Very clean, very wet look, very hydrophobic. And then from there, using a detail spray as needed to clean the car, and it's perfect. So that's a pretty big secret of mine. I've been using for quite a while. Awesome results. Some of the products are pretty expensive, but I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the whole thing and let you know my secrets. And we're just going to wash the car, and then yeah, that's really it. So let's get to it. Here we are inside the garage. As you guys can see, quite a few products for detailing vehicles. A lot of microfiber cloths, whatnot. So start off, we use a pressure washer. I use this green one here. It's from Sunjo. 25-degree angle. Nice dispersion on the pressure washer, not too powerful, right? It ends up damaging the paint, so just be careful of that. So start off washing it. I use Chemical Guys Honeydew. This is an awesome product. It's cheap for a massive gallon. It lasts quite a long time. So we're gonna do that. Rinse it first, and then I'm actually gonna use this CarPro tar remover called Tar X. If you don't have this, it can be expensive. They sell another one, not from them, but from Meguiar's actually. Where is it? Here's a CarPro Iron X2. Both these are pretty caustic. I'm gonna go ahead and remove a lot of that stunk on crap on your vehicle. But this one. So Meguiar's All Wheel Cleaner. You can actually use this on your paint. It's cheap. It's like $5 or so, at least it used to be. So I've gone ahead and I use this quite a bit on actual paint. Doesn't do any damage to the car's paint. We put it on there, give it a minute to do its job, then wash it right off, and then start cleaning it. So we're gonna rinse the cars, go ahead and use one of these products or both these products to make sure the car's nice and clean. Then once it's all clean and dry, we're gonna use this Polish Angel High Gloss. This is a phenomenal product. It doesn't take much. I've used this a handful of times. It's probably right here. I think it's like $100, maybe $150 for this product. Absolutely phenomenal. This goes right on the paint itself. Then we're gonna cover it with Reload 2.0 from CarPro. I have a lot of CarPro products. I think they're very good. They're expensive, but you get what you pay for. Go ahead, coat it with Reload 2.0. For the tires, we're gonna use the CarPro Retire. I've used various kinds of tire cleaner. This one's my favorite by far. And then for tire dressing, I like using Dark Side. I have used Adam's Graphene as well. This works pretty good. Doesn't last a real long time, but works pretty good. Let's see. I had another one in here too. I mean, this is Armor All. I'm not a huge fan, honestly. Kind of crappy, but whatever. That's it. That's gonna be the plan. And then while I'm going through these in stages, let me just show you guys this quick. I use different polishing compounds and different microfiber cloths. I have different grades of them too. I'm actually buy a lot of my products from the Rag Company. They're awesome. They're cheap, great value for the money. Really nice ones for higher end polishing that I use quite a bit. I have some cheap ones from like AutoZone I use for my wheels whenever they're super dirty. I'm actually using this today for the first time to wash the vehicle. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get to it. I'm gonna do a quick walk through the vehicle, show you how dirty it is, and then we'll get to cleaning it. All right, so here's the Jeep. As you can see, it should come through in the camera. It's horrible, especially the tires are shot. You can see right here, even on this rear wheel, not so bad, but you get to the front, you can see it right here in the sun. It's just, look at that, covered in brake dust. I mean, my calipers themselves, look at that, it looks horrible. My finger, oh man. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this whole thing up. Make sure your car's nice and cool, make sure it's in the shade. So mine's got a little bit of sun right here, but it should be all right. And on the front especially, if you got a lot of bug guts, let me see if mine has any bug guts on. Surprisingly, there's not a lot. Only a few spots, but if you have a lot, make sure you spray those too. Extra attention to them. That tire remover and the iron remover will do a pretty good job eating all that stuff up. Yeah, I'm just gonna plant you guys here. We're gonna go ahead and wash the car. So if you want to know if it's working or not, as soon as you see purple, that's all the iron that it bonded to and removed off your car. Definitely working. And then on the brakes too, you can see on the rotors, they're always going to be rusty, but you can see right there it responded to it and then coming off. So it's doing its job. So we finished washing the car, finished drying the car. We're done for the day. It's getting pretty dark out. It's getting hard to see what I'm working on. So I'm gonna call it quits for now. But let's cover some things that I did today. So using that iron remover, the whole driveway is like a purple hue right now. So naturally, as cars drive on the road, you get rust from cars, you get brake dust, and then you get a lot of iron all over the road. And that iron comes up in the air and it sticks to your car, kind of like a magnet almost, and embeds itself. Especially for like white cars, like pearl white cars, you're gonna see rust spots all over your car, and it isn't from your car rusty. I mean, the majority of the front of the car is plastic. It's from that iron and metal debris on the road. So using that iron axe is pretty important. Everyone seems to overlook it. So not only does it remove iron, but it's pretty powerful to remove bug guts and whatnot off the car too. So you don't want to skip that step. Otherwise, when you try and put on like a wax or a sealant, you're sealing in that metal contamination. And now your car's gonna look rusty and dirty, even though it's really not. And you need to wait until that protectant layer, that silicon dioxide, has been either dissolved or put on another corrosive to eat away at that and then clean it off. So you don't want to skip this step. It's pretty important. And regular soap isn't going to cut it. You got to use an iron remover or decontamination remover. So that's number one. Once it sets on the car for about 3 to 5 minutes, I washed it off. I did a top-down approach to washing it off. Of course, you don't want to go from the bottom up because of gravity. So that was all good. Washed the car. And here, I'm sure I'll get some comments. So I only used 1 mitt, didn't do double bucket method, didn't use a 1 mitt for the top and 1 for the middle, 1 for the bottom, and here's why. So when you're washing cars for yourself or for your customers, you need to know your audience. And by that I mean, if you're washing a Ferrari, for example, you need to be meticulous. Right? That car has no micro scratches in the clear coat. It's a phenomenal car. It's clean all the way through and through. You need to know your customer, and you want to make sure the mitts that you're using are newer, they've been washed properly. You want to make sure you don't get any dirt and grime on the car, especially from the top area. You don't want to carry that dirt from the bottom to the top. Now, my car is a daily driver, and most of us, this is our daily driver. So as you daily drive your vehicle, you're going to naturally, from the wind, you're going to have dust blowing on your car, dirt, rocks. I mean, you name it. It's going to naturally cause these micro scratches in your car. So to be that careful when washing your car, just to turn around driving on the road and get it covered in scratches anyway, doesn't make a ton of sense. So for me, it is my daily driver. I'm not going to use 3 different mitts or a double bucket method for washing. I'm going to do what I just did. And the car looks great, and I'll show you in a minute. So that's my pointer for us. Make sure you spend time where it's going to be noticed, not having excess wasted time. Especially for like a $20 car wash. You don't want to be giving it like a $100 car wash when the value isn't there for you. So that was that point. So I went ahead and washed it, and I'll get you guys links, or at least descriptions below, letting you know the different microfiber cloths I use. I think they're all from the rag company. And my drying rag, I'll get to in a minute, or drying towel, drying cloth, whatever you want to call it, is awesome. I mean, it's awesome. All right, so that covers washing. And then did a rinse with the power washer. Nice quick rinse, top down. I tried holding my products in front of the camera for a second, like the chemical guys, Honeydew. But I realized it's not a time lapse, so you see me for like a split second. It's kind of stupid. Anyway, get into the rinsing, just rinse the car off, and then get into drying. It's a couple of drying tips here. I always start from the top down, obviously, again, gravity. And when you wash or dry something you can't reach, just throw your towel up there and just pull it back nice and slow. That's going to stick, and it's going to adhere to the body lines of the car, and it's going to pull that water with it and dry it off very, very nicely. I mean, I'm looking up right now, and it's spotless. And I couldn't jump up there and actually dry it. So just throw it up there and then just slowly pull it over the body of the car. Works awesome. And then when I try and dry the sides of the car, you don't ever want to drop your towel on the ground, because then you're going to pick up naturally, you're going to pick up that dirt and debris. I mean, these towels are designed to grab onto things, especially microfiber towels. So if you get dirt in there, it's very, very hard to get rid of it. So when I dry it, I put one hand up top and use the other hand to dry whatever I'm trying to dry. This hand's a safety. I lean on it, but I'm also holding that towel and I'm pinning it to the car. That way, in case I lose grip on my bottom, I'm not letting the towel fall into the ground and get contamination and get all dirty and wet. So I did that throughout the whole car. And then it's important to watch out for certain body lines or like certain places where the body parts touch, like your fenders on your bumper, or when you're talking about like your front headlights or your front taillights when they curve under the bumper. Those water spots are going to naturally occur and water's going to be trapped in there. And as you're drying the car, it's going to keep sipping down and going further and further and creating these streaks down the car. And those streaks are very visible, especially when you're washing a car and it looks really clean. And you get those water line marks down the side of the car. Then you got to go back there and you got to clean them off again after you've already dried your car. So I'll finish drying the car and then I'll go through and I'll make sure I get my fingers in there and try and dry off as best I can. It usually takes 2 or 3 trips to do that. I saw one YouTuber using like a leaf blower, a mini leaf blower almost, to get in there and blow the air, all the water out. That works great too. But again, if you got like anything inside there, like dirt from being a leaf blower, you're just blowing it at your car at 100 miles an hour, and that's not great either. You're getting dirty again. So those are my tips for washing and tips for drying. We're going to do a walk around the car. I'll show you how the car looks right now, being just washed as you just saw. And then tomorrow, get into using that polishing compound, and then finishing off with the silicone spray. And then after I do that, I usually do a quick wipe spray, like a quick wipe, or I have like a buffing towel that I use, or a polishing towel, just to kind of go over the car nice and quick. And it really brings that out too, make sure there's no contamination left over or extra product. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at the car and see how it looks after just a wash. All right, so here we are, just a wash. You can see there's some water spots here again, of course. This is what I was talking about. It gets trapped underneath here and then beads down. So you want to make sure to clean that up right here as well. I mean, the car looks pretty clean. Do a quick side profile. It looks clean and it feels smooth, which is usually actually not good. And I say it because I want to make sure that I was using enough material and powerful stuff to clean out the side of the car where my finger shell must be sticking to it, and it's not. It's kind of gliding, which tells me there's still air protection on the car that I didn't remove, unfortunately. So that being said, I'm still going to do the video. I'm still going to use that Polish Angel because I did a pretty good job cleaning it. Washed it twice. Oh, that's the other point. I washed the car twice because, for example, like you can see right here, this little spot right here wasn't quite wiped away. So when I'm washing the car, you can do your best to clean the car off, but sometimes you miss tiny little spots here and there, and so I try and wash it twice. If I'm just washing it once just to go to a car show, whatever, not a big deal. If I'm trying to wash it though to prep it, to get it ready for the next stage of silicone spray or a polishing compound, you want to make sure it's extra clean, so I usually wash it twice. But that being said, the car, in some spots actually, you can hear it. I think it has almost no protection on it in some of these areas, so I'm just going to call it good enough. I can hear that, so it's good enough to get ready for the next round. You can still see though, I did spray the wheels. They're extremely dirty, and that's fine. I didn't pay attention to the wheels yet. I have a different cleaner I'm going to use to go ahead and clean the wheels. You can still see on the front of the car too, there's some bug guts, so I gotta get in there and clean some of this stuff off, especially right here. Gotta clean this off, otherwise you're gonna lock this into the car. So that spray I used did a great job removing iron. It's supposed to be used for decontamination, but as you can see, didn't quite do it justice. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that washcloth again, that mitt, and just give it a good little scrub and make sure it's ready for the next stage. Again, wheels, haven't touched those yet. Now let me, I'm thinking about it. Let me just go ahead and show you guys what I do for wheels. So I wash this mitt. This is my body mitt, so I'll wash that, reuse the bucket, and then I have this this layer here to keep the dirt at the very bottom of the car, or the very bottom of the bucket, so I'm getting out of the car. So for cleaning wheels, I either use the alternate wheel cleaner again, and then I actually have a brush that I use to scrub the wheels. Here it is. I use this one. So it's very soft bristled, but I use that, and then I have another one too. Here it is. So these are very, very soft. You can use this for the inside of the car, or you can use them for the wheels. These are nice because they come in a variety of sizes, but you can get right inside here. And this is very difficult to get in with your fingers because it's so small. But this brush does a great job getting inside there. So I use this, and I'll agitate everything and clean the wheels up. So I use soap. I use that wheel spray I was just telling you about. And that does a great job. And then for the tires itself, I use this retire over here. So I spray this on, use this brush again, agitate it, get nice and clean. You know what? Let me just do a video for you guys real quick. I mean, the car's done, but let me wash just one wheel for you guys so you can see how I'm doing, or what I'm talking about. All right, so using our wheel cleaner. Let me zoom in right here. See how it's turning dark purple? Now obviously you're going to have a lot of metal there. It's a rotor, right? It has direct connection to the brake pads. It itself is metal. But that's the car you can see on the ground. Mine's washed off, but as soon as I wash this tire, you're going to see it. And then just a quick FYI, stuff has a pretty powerful smell to it. So there's the iron remover I use for Car Pro. It's even stronger actually. Just be ready for that smell. It's a little bit pungent, but it's doing its job. It's doing a great job. Alright, it's been long enough to let it sit in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and rinse it off. You can see right here. That purple shit on the ground I'm talking about. The whole thing's purple. So, definitely doing its job. I'm going to do this in the quick and dirty method, just using normal soap from the car, the chemical guy stuff. So make sure that you get rid of all that wheel cleaner that was on there previously. You don't want to leave it on painted wheels, especially. You know, start going through it. So going here, quick and dirty job. Clean the wheels just a little bit. It's not really doing much because you have that retire ring used instead. I'll get in there and clean this. Use this brush to get in there nice and deep back. If you guys are movie buffs, you understand that quote. Ironically, the guy who was doing this was doing the exact same thing. He was cleaning the wheels. Well, his customer said that from his belly button. Anyway. Do everything twice just to make sure. And this again, a little quick and dirty method just for you guys to get an idea of what I usually do. Okay, and rinse it off. And then normally I would dry this. It already looks really clean. I mean, in comparison to how it used to look, it looks phenomenal. So now you get one of your dirty cloths. I use AutoZone ones for that, and then dry everything off. But before I do that, let's do our tires quick. I don't know if you can see this or not, but you can see there's a ton of dirt coming off this. I mean, there's a ton of dirt coming off this tire. And that's why we use this special cleaner, because otherwise, if you use like the chemical guys, it's not going to cut it. Because the chemical guys, it's a safe wash. I mean, that's designed not to be super aggressive and remove any protection you have on the car. So it's powerful enough to clean it, but not enough to do any kind of damage. When it comes to wheels, it's a little more powerful to get in there and to really clean them good. As you can see here, I mean, this is extremely dirty. So we're going to keep doing this until the solution and all the bubbles are white. When they're white, you know the tire is as clean as it's going to get. And then once you dry it, it's ready for your tire shine compound. So let's rinse this off quick. So you can already see a very big difference in the tire. It already looks a lot cleaner just from what I just did. Go ahead, rinse this off a little bit. Look at that difference. The bulb is nice and white now. So this retire, it's powerful stuff. I mean, you can be stingy with it if you want to, but you can see right here that after just one application of it, I mean, there's a little bit of dirt coming off now. After one application, it did a phenomenal job. The tires are back to their black look. Looks really nice. If you want a matte finish, I still recommend putting on a tire shine, even if it's not one that's a high gloss. It offers protection for the tires, just to repel some dirt and debris. So even if you want, they have plenty of ones that are just a matte finish. The tire just looks like it's just clean, but it helps to stay clean for a lot longer. Just working this in there, you can see it's definitely picking up some dirt. These white suds are no longer white. But again, for me, I'm only going to do 2 coats. I can see that the tire is going to need another one. But I'm going to say the tires, it's got to be 80%, 85%, maybe 90% clean right now, which is more than enough in order to have your tire shine adhere to the tire. And again, this isn't a show car. It's my daily driver. I want it to be looking good, but I'm not going to spend an hour just cleaning one tire. So rinse this off and we'll call it a day. Alright, so in a few minutes, tires clean, excuse me. Wheels are clean. You can still see rust on the rotor itself. And this is going to happen, right? Your rotors are going to get rusty. But as soon as you start driving the car, your brake pads are going to make contact with the rotor. and it'll wipe all that rust off, and then you'll be good to go. Of course, if they get wet, they're gonna rust again, but whatever. So that's it. As long as you're aligning your pressure washer right, you can get minimal overspray on your already dry car. So you see there's almost no water on the carb side, it's just right there. And then get your less than preferable microfiber cloths, dry it off. And then I usually let the tire sit. If you're gonna put on tire shine right away, use a leaf blower. If you're blowing it right around your tire, it's not gonna do any damage. It's just on your paint, be more careful on your tire, it's not a big deal. To help expedite the drying process, and then go ahead and use your preferable tire shine, and that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it for the rest of the tires, and then tomorrow I'll get into taking care of the body. Alright, so real quick, here's the finished tire. You can see it's black. There's really almost no brown to it. Brown usually indicates that there's some grime stuck in the tire. Pretty clean, probably could do it again, but good enough. And then the wheel itself, even though I cleaned it, you can see in here there's still some like dirt, and that's typical. So what I do after this, what I do is I go through and I'll use a detail rag. I use one of my Krebby rags again from AutoZone, and I use Adam's detail spray on detail it and get in there on my finger and clean everything, and that really brightens it up. But that's the next stage. But let me show you, this is the clean tire. Now let me show you the tire I haven't washed yet. You can see the difference. All this brown all on the tire. And it's pretty dark out too. You can still see it's very evident. Lots of browning. The wheel itself is super dirty. So this is how it was before. And then from just washing it, using this, agitating it, and then using this on the tire, and just rinsing it. That's all I did. Huge difference. Well worth the time and effort. Alright, so I did decide, you guys like short videos. This is already a pretty long video just washing and drying the car. So I'm going to end it here and then pick up tomorrow with a part 2 of this series about detail.